Good morning. Let's look at the clock. It's 7:44 on September the 7th. This is your timestamp. We truly don't know what someone else is struggling through in their life. We don't know. We truly don't. You may look around at a person and their life may be disorganized. They may. And, they may be sad. They may cry. They may keep to themselves and things like that. They may have a lot. Good morning. Applebrooks, honey. Hello, Edith. They may have a lot going on in their life, and but when you look at them, you don't even think that. Okay, yeah, this is serious. It is. I've been there. I've done that. You've been there. You've done that. At one point in time in your life, you have things going on in your life, and then sometimes you could fall into a depression. You can go into a downward spiral because of the hand you got dealt in life, the way things happened in life. Something happened and it just like poof, it knocked you off your feet. And it could be the death of a loved one. It could be losing your job. It could be the break of a relationship or something like that. It could be the, the teeny tiny words someone said to you at a certain moment in your life when you were so very fragile that literally just went poof. And then you found yourself stuck in a downward spiral. And it just kept steering and steering and steering on the inside of you. And it was hard to even, if you've ever been into got near a sinkhole, it just pulls you under. It does. The water, it just pulls you under. I don't know how it happens, but it does. And some people feel like they're sinking on the inside. So we really truly don't know what someone is struggling with. It's easy to look at someone's life, look how they are acting, look at the things they say. They could be angry, they could cry, they could wear the same shirt over and over, Gina, honey. They could leave their hair looking like yours at times because you just don't care. Well, I just do it to do it at times. But you see, some people could pass judgment, and they have on me because I wear the same shirt all the time. And or maybe I'm not well kept at times, or we have different standards. We try to place our standards on others, how they should behave, how they should dress. Um, we perceive them, but then you don't take time. At times, people don't take time to look into the picture. There was this woman I worked with, and she kept to herself, and she didn't clean herself up all the time. Sometimes she looked a little unkept and stuff, but it was her. She was quiet, and she had people didn't want to be around her. They didn't, because she was different. And I was drawn to her because she was different. I really was. I'll just admit it. Her name was, I'm going to give her a different name because I'm not going to say her name. I'm not. She had a gentle spirit. I literally felt her spirit, her heart when I met her. Her name was, let's just call her Clarice. So Clarice would come into work, and sometimes her hair wouldn't be brushed. Her hair was about like here. Sometimes it was oily. Sometimes her face looked oily and stuff. Her teeth weren't brushed, and it's okay. And she would drag herself when she walked. She would. Clarice would. And she seemed a little off at times, couldn't concentrate and things. But every time I would come in, I made sure I'd go talk to her, and she would talk to me, and she was scared at first. She just kept to herself. Clarice was. But when I started to talk with her, she had a hard life. She did. She was just struggling, and she was on some type of medications and stuff to like help her deal with what she was going through on the inside and what had happened with her in life. And because of this, people thought you should, get away from her. She's going to fly off the handle and things. And because she had before, she did. And, they responded in kind. They flew off the handle too. But it was over time, I was able to gain her trust, and she was a wonderful, wonderful person. And I even got to the point where I could pray with her and stuff, and she was so appreciative. She always get a big smile when she would see me coming. I really liked her. She had a very peaceful, peaceful spirit on the inside, even though other people just stood back because they saw what she was capable of in the past, but she wasn't that person anymore. She wasn't. She was a kind, loving person. She just needed someone to sit down and understand, listen to her, talk to her, and things like that. But she was on the outside, she looked like she didn't have it together, like her life was messed up. And people want to stay away from people like that. They do. In the real world, if you're not prim and proper, if you're not doing what you should do, acting the way you should act, stay away from it. You got problems that you deal with your own. See, no, that's not me, you are. It's not. But you truly don't know what other people are struggling with on the inside. And, like even outside, like when they're not in your presence, you don't know what's going on in their homes. You don't. You don't know what they've been through. Because they're not going to tell you. Do you think I'm going to tell you everything that I'm going through, Gina, honey? You tell us a whole lot. Well, I'm not going to tell you everything that I'm going through on the inside of me and what's going on in my life or what has ever went on in my life. I'm not. There's some things I'm going to keep to myself, and I'm going to try to hold myself together, just like a lot of other people. But sometimes there's instances you can't hide what's going on, and you cannot hide in essence what's truly something happening in your life. I mean, you don't have to come out and say it, but people can see that something's wrong even though you don't say it, and they may act adversely toward it. They may, and it's not right. You could. My mother, when my dad passed, I thought, well, Mom, he's been gone for 3 years. Can you please pull out of it? But people grieve differently. They truly do. And I never said that to my mom. But she would close the curtains to the house, and she would sit there, and she didn't care about herself no more. She didn't. She would tell me, I don't care. I don't care. Mom, do you want to do this? I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Nothing matters to me. She got into a deep, deep depression, and thank God she found Ken, because Ken helped pull her out of that depression. But then something happened. She went into another dip, and she got back in it again. And she just sat around. She slept all the time. She just, something triggered something inside of her. And I remember my mother disappeared. The mother that I knew disappeared. And my mother's not one to talk about what goes on. She isn't. She's a very strong woman. She's a stubborn woman, but she's strong-willed, and she wouldn't talk about things. Even though I could talk, she got to a point where she didn't want to hear nothing. And you may get people like that too. They don't want to talk about it. They don't. They just want to lock themselves up on the inside, because she truly was locked up on the inside. And she used to keep herself up. She did. My mother would. She cared what she looked like, but she didn't. She didn't. Her hair started growing long and stuff. She just pull it back in a ponytail, and she just sat there all the time like a empty shell. And I remember saying, you know what, that's it. And I kept praying and praying and praying. It started affecting her marriage, because she went into a deep, deep, deep depression. She came out of it when she met Ken, but she went into a dip. I remember going over there and said, Mom, where's that woman? Where's that woman that I knew? Where's my mother? Where's my mother? That God-fearing woman who would not let, if you could see yourself in the past, if you could look back from the past and see the condition that you would be in now, I said, there's no way my mom would stand for that type of condition that you're in now. I said, where she's on the inside of you. I know she's on the inside of you. I said, you got to fight this demon, more or less this depression that's on the inside. You got to fight, because there's no way you would allow this to happen to you. The woman that I knew, the mother that raised her children, there's no way she would have allowed that, and she wouldn't let us allow that either. I remember praying and praying and praying with her, holding her hands. I said, you got to fight back. You got to take back control of your life. And it was a struggle. It was. She knew what was going on. But I had to keep reminding you, that woman on the inside of you, that warrior, that God-fearing woman, that Stubborn woman. There's no way she would put up with this. You got to fight back. Well, like I said, you can fight back, and you will fight back. You're going to fight back. The devil, the enemy, has literally stolen so much of your life. It's literally trying to kill you on the inside, and you cannot let it happen. You can't. You have to struggle. Do not. You know that if you once was really strong on the inside of you, and you had it together, you were a strong-willed individual. And then something happens in your life, and you go into a downward spiral, and you feel yourself stuck on the inside. Um, you may feel like this small. You may feel like I can't get out. But the you years ago, if the you years ago seeing yourself this small on the inside, you'd say, oh no. You'd say, oh hell no. Oh hell no. I'm not. No, 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 no. No, you ain't doing that to me. Your younger self would say that, oh no, you're not doing that to me. You're not locking me. You ain't making me this small. I'm not going to put up with it. No, I'm not. You'd bust your way out of that on the inside. You literally would bust your way out. You're not doing this to me. You're not doing this to me. And that's what happens. You find yourself and stuff, and you got to get to that point where you literally bust through. You got to look back where at a point in your life when you were that strong individual you are. You have to look back in that life where you were much taller than that. You got to regain that, take back control, because that's when my mother was like this small. She literally was this small on the inside. I never knew my mother to be that small on the inside. She was bigger than life. She was bolder than a lion. She opened her mouth. You knew she meant business. She spoke her mind. She did. But that mom was this big on the inside and didn't care. Her hair started getting long. And then one day, my sister-in-law came over, and she saw my mom sitting there. She said, you know what? You look just like your mother with your hair like that. She did. Because my grandmother more or less gave up, and then they medicated her to death in a nursing home. Just became an empty shell, and it literally crushed my mom's spirit. All it took was those words of my sister-in-law. With your hair like that, you look like your mom. It boom. It literally, those words literally like fired an arrow straight through there, and my mother went poof, just like that. She said, Gina, I want my hair. I want you to come over here. I want my hair. I am not going to be like my mother. I am not going to go down there like I am not going out like my mom did. I am not. I am not. I said, what happened? She goes, I'm not going to look like her. I'm not. I said, well, Mom, that's what you started looking like. You just gave up. She said, I want you to cut my hair. Her hair was way down to there. She did look like my grandmother, and my grandmother was in a deep, deep depression. But I trimmed her hair, and it's like a breath of life came back into my mother. It did like she started caring what she looked like now, and her whole attitude changed. Her whole attitude. But she didn't want to do that because she saw what happened to my grandmother. That was she did. She literally went into a downward depression, and it literally broke my mother. It tore my mother up because my grandmother, she would visit her all the time until something happened and she wasn't allowed. But she did. And then gradually, slowly but surely, my mother began to come back to the surface. She was no longer this small. She literally like got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now my mother's a tad bit overweight. She is, and it's always been a struggle in her whole entire family lineage, just like that. But that fighting spirit, the woman that I remember, she's literally came back through the surface and shed that old self. All it took was those words from my sister-in-law that triggered something on the inside of her. Just those few words. Um, But you don't know. You don't know. I still don't know what happened on the inside of her because she never did talk about it. But I knew she was about that big, and she gave up on life. She didn't care if she died or nothing. The moment those words came out of her mouth, the moment something like that light went off, I trimmed her hair, fixed her hair because she wanted to look nice. She really did. And her hair was like, she looked like grandma who gave up. But no, it's like there's like a time and place. Just went off in her head like that. And now she says, "Oh, I want to live to be 100. I want to live to be 100. I want to live. I want to live." She back then she didn't want to live. She didn't care. She didn't care about nothing. She gained back control and started listening to her Bible, you know, Bible on her phone now, and then she started getting up, moving around. If you've been in a deep depression, you know what it's like when you're sitting there. You don't want to do anything. You want to sleep. You want to sit. You don't want to just do nothing because you don't care. But when you first start waking up, you want to start you want to start moving around. You want to start living. You want to get up. You want to start caring because you see you're free. You're totally free. You don't have to sleep no more. You don't have to feel like, yeah, I just don't care if I want to die. Oh, you start caring on the inside of you. You do. And you say, I'm going to live my life. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you can't do it all at once. It takes time. But the most important thing is that spirit that you on the inside that got like this. When something happens and that person on the inside of you starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it's like your lights. It might have been like a little bitty flicker. It's like it gets really bright till it literally just poof, busts all out of you. And you start caring again, and you realize, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to live my life, I want to live till I'm 100. And there's longevity in my family's, on my mom's side of the family. There is. My grandmother was almost 100, more or less. So yeah, you don't know what someone's going through just because you see somebody now laying around all the time, their curtains are closed, and they might not be upkept, or their life like look like it's a mess. And you can't judge a person based on what you see now. You cannot. I just want to tell you that. And you can't give up on a person just what you see now occurring in their life. That person, you can't give up on them. You can't. I've always felt there's always hope. As long as you got breath in your body, there's always hope. So, no, don't even give up on yourself. Don't think, I don't care about nothing. I don't care because nobody cares about you. I care. There's a lot of people who care about you. Just because I can't physically see you, I care about you. I don't want you to lay around and give up on life. I don't. I don't want I would not want to look back on some of your all's life and see that, wow, this person was full of life and they were larger than life. They were very strong willed and something happened and made you small. Now, I could see that on the inside of you. I would encourage you. No, there's no way if that person years ago, it could see you now, you would not allow yourself to do it. And the moment you would, just think of yourself. Just let's think of this. Okay, say you feel this big on the inside and you're trapped on the inside. You're this big. Say you 15, 20 years ago, if you could time travel, I guess you're full of life 15 to 20 years ago. You're full of life. You're very strong and determined, and nobody's going to do nothing to you because you're going to take control. If you could time travel 10 to 15 years in the past to where you are now, and you could look inside and you could see that you got this smile on the inside, you know what you would do? You would shake yourself up, you would slap yourself on the face, and you would say, "What is the matter with you? What is the matter with you? You're not doing this to me. Get up." And you would literally recognize that voice because that's a part of you in the past. You would recognize it, and you would come alive. Oh, you would come alive on the inside of you, thinking, "You're right. I would not, and I don't like what happened to me. No, I'm coming. I'm not gonna allow myself to be this big." You're gonna wake yourself up. You are going to wake yourself up. You could time travel and see yourself this big on the inside. You say, "I'm not gonna. No, 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 no. You ain't doing this to me." See, you'll listen to yourself. You will listen to that strong person back then because you had it all together, and you knew what you wanted. You'd listen to yourself. You can. And you would. Just think of that. No, you look where you were, look where you are now. That same person is still there on the inside, but it got a little bit smaller. And hopefully, what I'm saying now, maybe these words will resonate with that you way back then. that part of you, because it's still on the inside there. It just only, you shrunk it down. Life made it get this big, and it got it got stuck in the darkness and stuff. It's kind of suffocating on the inside of you. You tell that self of you. You look at that self on the inside of you. You ain't going to stand for it no more. You're not going to let the world do this to you, because the cares of this life and the world will do it. People will do it to you. You tell yourself, I want you to time travel. Time travel from 15, 20 years ago to where you were the strongest you ever were, where everything was going smooth until something happened. I want you to go back in time and find that point in your life where you were the best you could be, the strongest you could ever be. And I want you to come back to this moment in time, to this present moment, and look at yourself right now and see how big you are on the inside. And tell me if you're going to stand for that. Are you going to stand for that? Because you can time travel. You can mentally time travel, bring that part of you back, see what you were, and bring it back to you and look at that self on the inside. Go ahead, do your time traveling, you all. I've had to do it myself, but I didn't think of it as time traveling. I know I used to be, well, no, Gina, honey, I've grown. I'm not the person I used to be. I used to be really quiet, and I was scared to open my mouth. Okay. So I've got a totally different situation. I found my voice. I found that strength on the inside. I mean, it's always been inside of me, but I didn't know it. I didn't. It's just untapped. But for a lot of you, oh, you were much stronger back then. You time travel, go back to the period in time where you were the strongest you've ever been, because that's still on the inside of you. It did not go anywhere. You got this big. Come back, come back, come to the future, come to the present. Take control, take control. You don't have to be that big. Time travel. Bring that person back, because that's what my mother did. I can look at it. The person she was way back then when we were growing up, even after we left the house, she was strong until something happened when my dad started going downhill. And then it just went like that until she became this big. But that woman back then now is that woman again on the inside, and she's no longer in the ins. The inside of her can't contain her now. It can't. It can't. And the same thing with you. The inside of you, no, there's no room. You're too big. You're too big now. You don't have to be that small on the inside. You don't. You big. You big now. Nobody's going to trap you inside of you. Okay, you're not going to be trapped on the inside of you. You're not. No. Time travel, you all. Find the point in your life where you were the strongest. Jeannie, you're repeating. I know it. Where you're the strongest and the most determined you ever were. Go get that part. Come back. Come to the here and now. And if you have to envision yourself reaching the inside of you, reaching on the inside of you, even because you're only about this big, taking you out of there and say no. You just like to no. This is where you're going. No, you're not staying inside there. You're coming out of there. You just do that. You just picture yourself. Reach in there, that older you, and pull yourself out of there and say no. No, you're going to stay right here beside me, because we're going to grow. We're going to grow. You're not doing this to me. We're going to grow. Do that, you all. Do that. If you need a visual, that's a visual. No, because you don't know. You don't know what happened that triggered that, but you can break yourself free. I totally encourage you to break yourself free. Do what you got to do. You have all the strength that you need on the inside of you, especially if you used to be like that. No, you're not lacking in anything. You're not. And with the love of God, with Jesus, oh, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. That's right. Your light's going to be brighter than ever. You want your life to come back into your body. You want to be that person, but much stronger. Much, much stronger. You will be a whole lot stronger because you've been through a whole lot more. Like you got part of your youth back. And it really is. You get part of your youthfulness back when you do that. Once you've been stuck on the inside and something finally wakes you up and you're no longer in there, it's like you get a breath of fresh life. You do. You get reinvigorated, and you want to live. You want to live. All of a sudden you have, wow, this whole world is out here in front of me. I don't have to lay in this bed all the time. I can get up and I can move around. I can do things. I don't have to keep this weight on me. I don't. I can get this weight off of me. I can do it. I can start walking. I can move. I can do it. I don't have to wear the same shirt all the time. I got different types of clothes. I don't have to leave my bed unmade every morning, or I don't have to leave the dishes in the sink because I never used to before. That's right, you did. You never used to before. You never used to let your house get like that because you just didn't. But if you allowed yourself from the past, that strong person, to come back, if you wanted to time travel, you can clean up your life really fast. You really can. You can clean house. You can clean house because you're no longer that big on the inside of you. You're now on the outside. You can start cleaning your spiritual house, your physical house. You can start getting your life back in order. You all, you can. You can. I hope what I said made sense, you all. I don't even know what I said, but I wanna say something. I hope maybe the frequency. No, just don't let it happen to you. And I can see they're cutting the live chat. They let the live chat, they let the people get up to around 160, and they literally like, I just looked at that. It said 115 and now it went up to 161. Here's what they're doing. The algorithm is literally cutting the live chat and bringing it straight down. Good morning. Please give this video a thumbs up. This video is for probably a lot of people, not just one person. But yeah, the mother I knew became this big. And that was never, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. But she's not that person no more. She's who she used to be, but a lot stronger. She's been through a lot more in life. And she's mellowed out too, a whole lot more. You'll find out if you were like very vocal and stuff in your younger days, and you may noticed as life went on, you became more mellow and you didn't need to be so vocal or something. You say, okay, I don't need to react like this, because life will do that to you. It'll calm you down, and you'll want to save your energy. You will. Yeah, will. Um, Clean out your closet, you all. You lost 100 pounds, Rose honey. That's right. That's wonderful. And you will do it. You're determined. No problem for me. That's right, Rose. And that is a lot of it's an enormous struggle for a lot of people, because you know what? They want us to do that. They do. They want they want people to eat and eat and eat and eat. All you have to do is look around, supersize it. All you can eat. It's a part of their plan. Part of their plan. Well, we're on to your plan. Yes, we are. Yeah, you were onto your plan, what you tried to do to us. Steal steal our joy, and make us not live our life to the fullest, you are. But we taking back our life. We are. We don't have to put up with it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Simplify your all's life, you all. And we eat lean and stuff like that. Yeah. So no matter what you've been through, because all it takes is one thing, your life can be going smooth, and a tragic event. And it may not be tragic to somebody, but to you, it's tragic. That literally caused you to go into a downward spiral, and then you got trapped like that on the inside of you. All it takes is just like one single thing. Sometimes it takes multiple things, and when the multiple things happen, you literally shrink like this on the inside. Your light goes out like that, and then it's like a flicker, then it's like a spark, but then boom, boom, something ignites that spark, and you become a big flame. It's like that. Don't do that to yourself, you all. You got to love yourself. Okay, love yourself. You do. We are to love one another. Okay, don't hate yourself. Don't do that. It's not nice to hate on yourself, you all. It's not. I know when things happen, you may get upset with yourself. No, say, no, I'm not going to hate on myself, and I'm not going to talk bad about myself. I'm not going to run myself down to the ground, because that's not you. That's not you. You love yourself. You love who you are on the inside. There's nothing wrong loving who you are on the inside, because If you got the love of God on the inside, why can't you love yourself? Okay. I'm not saying be arrogant and stuff. I'm love who you are. Love yourself enough to care for yourself. Truly do it. Do it. I love you. There's a lot of people in here. We do love you, even though we can't see you. Oh, we love you. We do. And some people might say, well, how can you love somebody you can't see? I can feel their frequency. My throat is getting ready to itch. All of a sudden, oh my gosh. You can have green pastures, you all. You don't have to be in the darkness. You can have the green come back in your life. You don't have to be dirt. You can like what you see. You can look inside of you and you can see your light shining more. You can see yourself growing. You can like what you see on the inside of you. You can like what you see, love yourself enough to make a change. I got to drink this because my throat started itching. You can like what you see. You don't have to. If you don't like what you see, make it to where you are. Say, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do you right. Tell yourself, I'm going to do you right. I know I neglected you. I know I forgot about you. You can speak to yourself. I know I gave up on you, because some people give up on themselves. That's don't give up on yourself. Okay, don't. That's wow. You give up on your own self. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's the problem. It's not that people gave up on you. You gave up on your own self. Stop that. Stop that. Don't do that. I want you to love yourself. Love yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Don't do it. Don't. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not that people gave up on you. You gave up on yourself. No, 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 no. You're not doing it. You're not doing it, you all. You're not going to do it. Gracious Heavenly Father, you know what's on the inside of everyone. You do. You know their heart. They can't hide what's on the inside of their heart. They may hide it from people, but they cannot hide it from you. I pray right now that may you give everyone the strength on the inside of them, Lord. Those who have gave up on themselves on the inside, even though others haven't gave up, they gave up on themselves, Lord. May you break those strongholds of the enemies. Break through the darkness. Shine your light, pierce through that darkness. Shine your light, breathe new life into these people who have given up on themselves. Breathe life, give them life. Let them know that you haven't given up on them at all. And may you be the strength and encouragement, and may you be the light, Jesus, please, on the inside of them, to where they don't want to give up anymore, because they saw your light. They saw your light, and your light brought to them comfort. Your light brought to them life. Your light brought to them the love that they never gave themselves. It's you on the inside. And just be with us all, Lord. Just give us the strength to continue, even though we're struggling on the inside. We None of us knows what's truly going on in the side of others. We don't. But you know, I pray may you strengthen and encourage each and every one of us. Give us what we need on the inside. Mend the hearts that have been broken, Lord. Erase the pain and the turmoil that has happened in our lives to where it doesn't affect us. May you give us the peace that passes all understanding on the inside, the comfort, the love, everything. May you heal. May you begin the healing that we so need on the inside of us. Every single one of us, we need healing in some way. We do. Some in a lot of way. I pray, may you work that healing. May the healing begin inside of them and in their lives. And may they know beyond a shadow of a doubt where that healing came from. In the name of precious Jesus, amen. You all don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. I'm going to go. I've already said too much, you all. I have. That's not you no more. You're not this big. You're not this big. That's not you no more. It's not you. Okay? That's used to be you. You are growing. You're already growing. You're going to outgrow. You're going to break through, if you haven't already, through this part on the inside of you. You're not this big no more. Okay, you're not. You're growing. You're growing. And you're never going to become this big anymore, this small anymore. You're not going to let life do this to you. You're not. You're going to say, I've been there, done that. No, it's not. No. I'm going to live my life. So I'm going to go, you all. And hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And please give this video a thumbs up. And if you get kicked off the live stream, they're doing it because they got it at 1. I just looked at it. It was 111, and now it's got 143. They're cutting it like that. Don't give up. I'm not going to give up on you. God's not going to give up on you. We're not going to give up on each other, you all. We're not. You don't you give up on you.